The Kennedys, a dynasty that may not even be a dynasty at all, but just your old regular family, except these guys are not your old regular family at all. In fact, they could be your least regular family. Today, we will be talking about the Kennedys. Dark Sean presents the Kennedy Dynasty. But first, let's give a shout out to the main members of the family. Patrick Kennedy, Bridget Murphy, Joseph Sr., Joseph Jr., killed in 1944, John F. Kennedy, Bobby or Robert F. Kennedy, Ted Kennedy, Eunice and her daughter Maria Shriver, and of course the new generation of the Kennedys. So, let's do some history. Alright, so let's get started. Now, you might be wondering what this is about. It's supposed to be related to the Kennedys, of course, or else why would I be showing this? But, yeah, you might have guessed it as the Kennedys' coat of arms. And it is true that this is the coat of arms. It was given to John F. Kennedy during his presidency by the Irish people. But wait, isn't Kennedy American? Yes, Kennedy is American. That is where he was born, and that's the place he's known for all of his life as home. But let's look closer at his ancestry. Now, if you go far back into the family tree, this is, by the way, from usefulcharts.com, a really useful place to get charts. So I guess that's why they call it Useful Charts. They have their own YouTube channel. I don't think I'm a subscriber. I'm a subscriber, by the way. Anyways, if you go far back in line, let's go from actually John F. Kennedy, one of John F. Kennedy's descendants, represented Patrick Kennedy. If you go back far enough, then you get to the state senator P.J. Kennedy, and his dad was Patrick Kennedy, who was born in Ireland from 1823, and he moved to the United States of America in 1849 at the age of 26. However, 9 years later he died, so he died at the age of 36. That's kind of young today, but it wasn't really that young, 173 years ago, to actually die at that time. And I hope that there's no copyright issues, because the creator of this chart, I just hope I am allowed to use it, because it's on the internet. Anyways, the state senator P.J. Kennedy then became the state senator, and then there was a lot more things that could have happened, and there we go, Rose Fitzgerald, Rose Fitzgerald's, well, some sort of ancestor was Representative John F. Fitzgerald. I'm kind of, yeah, obviously this guy would not be called John F. Kennedy II, because John F. Fitzgerald, don't you see? John F. is the F is Fitzgerald. Let's just go on with it. Then Rose Fitzgerald married Ambassador Joseph P. Kennedy Sr., who is the superstar and the place where we're going to start talking about today. But why did Patrick and Bridget decide to escape? Because there was the Irish famine, potato famine, or at least from what I know, and there was at least a famine, and they decided to go to the land of hope, America. Then they had a grandson called Joseph P. Kennedy, and eventually we call him Joseph P. Kennedy Sr., because one of his sons is also called Joseph P. Kennedy, but he died in World War II at the age of 29 in 1944 while he was trying to go on a airlift. Well, he actually not an airlift. He didn't even live to see the Berlin airlift after trying to do a mission. This is Joseph P. Kennedy Jr., the son of this guy. And why we have no photo of him looking very old is because he died at the age of 29 during World War II trying to fight. I mean, he wasn't a war hero, right? But surely he could be commemorated for that. Now let's talk about his younger brother, the second oldest brother, the second oldest sibling, turned the oldest sibling after this guy's death, John F. Kennedy. And let's take a look where he is. Of course, he's right here. The President John F. Kennedy. That's kind of a great thing to accomplish. I mean, he was born in 1917 all the way to 1963 when he was assassinated. He was just like 46 when he died. And then if we go along down, we see his other famous brother, Senator Bobby, or more known as Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy. But we'll just call him Bobby for the sakes of like name calling here. And there's way much more that we can actually talk about here. I mean, look at Ted Kennedy. He was alive all the way until 2009. He somehow survived the curse. I guess it got him in 2009 because like he got a brain tumor. And that is the generation of Kennedys that we know the most about. Now let's go into the parts of the new generation of the Kennedys. Ambassador Caroline Kennedy was born in 1957. John F. Kennedy Jr., the guy who saluted John F. Kennedy, died in a plane crash, sadly. Maria Shriver? Well, Maria Shriver, she became the first lady of California, although she divorced with Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think that's how you pronounce it, Schwarzenegger. And her mother, Eunice Kennedy, was the founder of the Special Olympics. Why she doesn't carry the Kennedy name is because her father's last name was Shriver. And Eunice Kennedy also died in 2009. And Maria Shriver is still living today. Yay! Now, the rest of the Kennedys we're going to talk about are still alive. Representative Joseph P. Kennedy II, son of Bobby Kennedy, Lieutenant Governor Kathleen Kennedy, is also the daughter of Bobby Kennedy. Carrie Kennedy is the daughter of Bobby Kennedy, who was married and eventually divorced from Governor Andrew Cuomo. Cuomo, why does that sound familiar? And Senator Ted Kennedy's only son was Representative Patrick Kennedy. I'm pretty sure that was not his only son, but on this chart is the only son ever put on there. I guess that's the only important one here, but sure enough, this chart is kind of useful, so I'm just glad that I have made a use for it. Wait, images may be subject to copyright, OMG. But I just hope this thing won't get censored. This is one of the best family trees I've ever seen. I mean, this is the whole Kennedy dynasty. Speaking of which, these guys here are here. John F. Kennedy, and then Bobby Kennedy came. He went to go for president, but then he got assassinated by the curse. Then his youngest sibling, Ted Kennedy, came up to shine, and he tried to go president once and then gave up after being unelected, by the way, for the rest of his life until his death in August 25th of 2009. From November 7th of 1962, he became the U.S. Senator for Massachusetts, the same position that his brother John F. Kennedy took. Robert F. Kennedy, during John F. Kennedy's older brother's time as president, he served as the Attorney General. This guy, well, didn't do much really, but when Bobby Kennedy started coming and going for president after the assassination of JFK, he decided to help this guy run for president, and it was successful until he found out that RFK was also assassinated. Another tragic curse of the Kennedy family. Then other siblings like Eunice came to found the NIH, Eunice Kennedy Shriver's National Institute of Child Health and Human Development. She also helped found the Special Olympics, which is kind of a different version of the Olympics too. And nowadays we have a different generation of Kennedys. Yay! Also, I'm not sure that they will even know me on YouTube, though. I mean, the most views I got on one video was 4.4 thousands, and that's kind of awesome already. Well, whatever the case is, I just hope you guys enjoy this episode. Ta-da! how did you enjoy this episode? I hope you guys enjoyed this fine enough, because if you guys really did enjoy this episode, I really wish you liked this Kennedy episode. So, what do you think about the Kennedys? Do you think they were a great dynasty, at least the family, or your average family that went up to rise into the whole world? That's for you to answer. So, until next time, I hope to see you guys then. Sean Han out. Peace.